Look, Stevie Wonder could have seen this one coming. I'm not Bambi's baby brother here. Kale to me tastes like I'd rather be fat. My friends ask me all the time, they say, you know, how do you sleep at night knowing that some people don't like you? And I tell them the truth, with the fan on. Here's how you cook kale. You cook it with olive oil because it slides more easily out of the pan into the garbage can.
Yeah, you know what? I don't trust politicians to save my life, but you know, he's funny. You know, at least he makes a joke of the fact that he's acting. He knows he's acting. He knows what he's doing. Welcome to the Sombrero, guys. It is allegedly November. What is it? 30th. November 30th, 2025. And Benjamin Balderson, who's usually out in the weeds, off grid, might be joining us here. It just depends. It depends on whether or not his solar farm and or his alchemy is letting him get involved.
Zero judgment. That dude's like hard off grid. Like I know
hard
a few
off grid.
of us are,
but it's more like how close is he to an internet connection, and it's serious gravy when he comes on. So whenever we have him on, we just have him on, and we take what we can get from him while we get him. Sometimes he has to wander to a certain internet point and set up his phone and talk from that because he's in the weeds. He's out there. He's doing God's work, I guess. Something akin to that. How are you guys tonight? We got
Great.
Singe Man.
Excellent.
Boston Ray, Rico.
I just heard hunk for the first time ever in my entire life, so I'm doing pretty good. Don't call me a hunk.
Who said
like
hunk?
You got called a hunk for the first time. Wow.
Yeah.
Remember when you were first called sir? The first time someone called you sir.
Yeah.
Similar.
Nico's out.
Weird.
She'll be
I was
joining
like,
us
"Whoa."
probably from the road. She always sends me little tidbits. Let's look at this.
Biscuits and blowjobs are how you keep a man. One doesn't put a smile on his face, betting that the other can. All you need is a little patience for both and work on your technique. Have him eating right out of the palm of your hand. That's a promise I can keep. You can work the dough nice and slow or quicken up your speed. Either way, he'll be okay. Two things are all you need. His friends will wonder what you got going on that makes his life top shelf. He might tell them about your kitchen skills, keep the rest to himself. His biscuits and blowjobs are how you keep a man. One doesn't put a smile on his face, betting that the other can. All you need is a little patience for both and work on your technique. Have him eating right out of the palm of your hand. That's a promise I can keep. I always sing the chorus one more time just in case you didn't get the message the first two times. Biscuits and blowjobs are how you keep a man. One doesn't put a smile on his face, betting that the other can. All you need is a little patience for both and work on your technique. Have him eating right out of the palm of your hand. That's a promise I can keep.
So there you go. There you go. Just use that. However you're going to use it. I don't know. Nico just sends me stuff and I just play it. Here's a good one. I never really make a lot of commentary on this kind of stuff. But it kind of makes itself apparent. This one was kind of funny that she found this one yesterday.
Dude, she has the best taste, and I get so bummed out at her for some of the things she subscribed to, but I'm subscribed to. You know, like.
Well, you make a
Coin is up, spinning nice. Hey, wait a minute!
Oh my goodness! Somebody just
That is
jumped in
not
and
a
grabbed
player.
it.
That is a man in a suit. He's got the coin and he's running. Looks like traditional Orthodox.
Okay, I gotta play it again. Sorry, I gotta play it again.
In here, gentlemen. Here we go. Coin is up, spinning nice. Hey, wait a minute!
Oh my goodness! Somebody just
That is
jumped in
not
and
a
grabbed
player.
it.
That is a man in a suit. He's got the coin and he's running. Looks like traditional Orthodox.
Oh, yeah, that's starting it off with a bang.
That's really good.
You like that
Really
one?
good.
You like that one? You know, I got to check in with Yeshua. I got to do one of these. You know what? I got to say, I got no problems with JC. But these, I hate AI too. But I got to tell you, I'm not mad at some of the comedy that comes out of AI. It's kind of hilarious.
Some of it is funny.
With a little bit
How
of
do you
editing,
make
a little
License
bit
was
of help.
expired. You understand? Don't reach for. Hey, stop! Stop right there! You got to be kidding me.
He's
Dispatch,
gonna walk.
subject is he's running on the water. Repeat, he is on the water.
Have you seen the one with the Olympics?
Somebody's got like, you know, there's.
You got to use your powers for something. Like,
See, that doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me.
What
Dude,
Santos
No, I think you
said
should
hurt
make
my
fun of
feelings, and I
everything.
heard Nico go, "That hurt your feelings." I think maybe
This one might bother you. I don't know. Let's see.
Looking for
Jesus
someone who
would
shares your
laugh his ass
faith,
off
your
his ass.
values, and your sense of adventure? Jihadis.com brings verified Muslim singles together with matches so good they'll feel explosive.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more to that. We're not going to show right now. We can't show the rest on YouTube.
I don't like. I review the clips probably once or twice before I share them, and then I just like, do I show it or not? And like,
That
is
one was
it
good.
propaganda from one side or is it propaganda? I don't fucking know. I don't know if it's propaganda, where it's coming from, but if it's funny, I guess I play it.
Words
another
and
one.
pictures. Whoops.
Hey,
This
by the
is,
way, when I send you a clip, I want you to know that I'll sit there and go, I don't want to be that dude that constantly barrages people with clips.
No, you just
This
send
is
them
too good not
all,
to.
and I try to review them, and I try to do my best I can. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be really bad, or this can be really good. But like either way, it's like you got to show it, unless it's just so retarded. You're like, this is dumb. I can't do it.
Hey, Singe, by the way, I don't know your face. I thought we'd met, but I guess not.
You talking to Singe?
Yep.
I think
Can't hear you though. You're muted.
Halo Warrior.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
Oh, I was like, are you a mute? Like, am I being insensitive?
A little pre-programming segment Nico sent over to me. Check this out.
It's the only possibility, Phoebe.
Okay. Ross, could you just open your mind like this much? Okay. Now, wasn't there a time when the brightest minds in the world believed that the Earth was flat? And up until, like, what, 50 years ago, you all thought the atom was the smallest thing until you split it open and this, like, whole mess of crap came out. Now, are you telling me that you are so unbelievably arrogant that you can't admit that there's a teeny tiny possibility that you could be wrong about this?
That's all this.
You don't believe in evolution?
No, not really.
You don't believe in evolution?
I don't know. It's just, monkeys, Darwin. It's a nice story. I just think it's a little too easy.
Too easy? The process of every living thing on this planet evolving over millions of years from single-celled organisms is too easy?
Yeah, I just don't buy it.
Excuse me. Evolution is not for you to buy, Phoebe. Evolution is scientific fact, like the air we breathe, like gravity.
Oh, okay. Don't get me started on gravity.
Nice.
What year was this?
You don't
90s?
believe in gravity?
Well, it's not so much that, I don't believe in it. It's just, I don't know. Lately, I get the feeling that I'm not so much being pulled down as I am being pushed.
I need a good lie.
Oh, okay. How about the whole man walking on the moon thing, You can see the strings, people. The pig is completely gone. What are those pills called? Hexadrin. Oh, I love you, Hexadrin. Mwah. Oh, look, it comes with a story.
Phoebe, they're like the side effects and stuff.
Say what?
The possible side effects.
Oh, my God.
I didn't see this part.
Dizziness, nervousness, drowsiness, facial swelling, nausea, headache,
Suicidal tendencies or suicidal ideology.
vomiting, stomach bleeding, liver damage. Now, okay, I don't recall any of this coming up when you gave me these little death capsules. Oh, I'm sorry.
extra strength death capsules.
You mean, relax, none of that stuff ever happens. They just put it on there for legal reasons.
Why?
In case it happens.
Oh yeah. A little truth in plain sight there for you guys.
Very nice.
Yeah, there was one other one I wanted to show you guys, and then we're gonna.
I used to be forced to watch that show.
I was a kid at the time.
I used to watch it.
My girlfriend made me,
But what
you guys are young.
Probably one
I've
of the
been
most.
married 10 times.
One of the most.
How many times?
The biggest shows like of all time as far as like exposure to everybody. So of course they have to put both sides in it, and they use the ditzy blonde that works at the coffee shop that's actually telling the truth. It's classic. It's classic.
It is. Yeah.
Let's see here. There's one more I wanted to show you. This one we're not gonna get a strike because we're not monetized at this point in time, but I wanted to show this one. I thought that was pretty good.
Real quick, I'm a little slow in the mental draw, but I wonder if there's a contact or connection between Friends and that moment in that movie that me and you watched over and over to depict by the Obamas. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, not the Civil War one, or not the Civil War.
The Netflix one.
Yeah, the one that's like it all ends. Like that was the one where everyone breaks down into probably. I mean,
well, yeah, when he's in the car, he's like, his daughter is like, "Hey, I would love to visit that coffee shop," and her dad's like, "It's probably just a set, you know." And like, I wonder if that's why Friends is so prominent in that movie.
Well, if you
also what movie you're talking about?
Oh my God!
No, it's the one where they had obey NASA and the kids' shirts, and everything was breaking down. The electric cars crashed in. Look, the shows that have the most exposure have the most programming, and then not anti-programming, but the controlled opposition side of it. So Phoebe was the controlled opposition side of Friends, but she was made to look like the ditzy blonde. So like, how could you ever believe her? Because she's just such a ditzy blonde. Well, that's how they do it. Check this one out. This is
Leave the world behind. Thank you, dear God.
Every dictatorship has one obsession, and that's it. So in ancient Rome, they gave the people bread and circuses. They kept the populace busy with entertainment. But other dictatorships use other strategies to control ideas, the knowledge. How do they do that? Lower education. They limit culture, censor information. They censor any means of individual expression. And it's important to remember that this is a pattern that repeats itself throughout history.
So there you go. So like, I mean, as we move through, like, we're starting to understand media better, and we're starting to be able to look at how the things come off the black screen, how things come into people's eyes. Like, of course, we're all looking at a screen right now. We're practicing discernment while we do it. We're using the screen against itself. But most, 99.999% of black screens out there are just sitting on walls and pubs and everything else, and it's just information pouring out of it. And, it was like, not DOD. Who was the big decoder? Shit.
Hey, look what I just found. The writer of Leave the World Behind features references to the popular TV show Friends.
Yeah, they were all buddy. They're all buddy. It's a really small club. And the spell is weakening, and the spell is falling away, and like a bunch of nerds decided to go in and decode a bunch of old media over the course of the last 20 years. And, for us, like me, I wasn't a decoder. I didn't know anything about it. I was, I'm a musician. I was like, this is interesting. What's this guy doing? Is he nerding out and watching every frame of this movie, every frame of this show? And then when you watch them go through it, you're like, oh, fuck. It's like the globe placement in every single thing you've ever seen. Like, that's weird that you have a globe behind you. That's really weird. Why is there a globe back there? So like, I always enjoy like little bits like that where like if you go back into the further you go back into media, if you go back, like there's old media vaults back there from the 50s and 60s. It's really easy to decode because they're actually giving away a lot more information than they are now. Now it's more subtle. It's more gaslit. It's more, there's a lot of strawman-y characters that will, make it seem like it's not important to talk about this topic. And then they'll put somebody like Phoebe in there. And she's like, oh, it's a ditzy blonde. Sure, she's saying that. Oh, that's so stupid. She's actually telling the truth. And that's why they get away with the controlled opposition within the, the mainstream programming. This is nothing new to you guys, I'm sure.
No. But it's also the way that they put it right in your face, too. You know what I mean? Like, they have
it's a
they can't help them. Yeah, it's called externalization of the hierarchy, I think.
Yeah, it's a ritual. And the biggest ritual happened in 2020, as far as I'm concerned, although 9/11 would be, one of those. In the conversation, but 2020 was the ritual, and it was a slap in the face, But these little slap in the faces have been happening in media since the 60s, and they do it in such a subtle way that the person that doesn't think about these things can't see it. And I'm guilty. I couldn't see it either. Like not even 2015, 2016. I didn't understand what was happening until you see the magic trick. And once you see the magic trick, it's hard to unsee it.
2020
right?
vision, yeah.
Music is not dissimilar at all. Like if you're listening to Pantera and someone cuts you off in traffic, your reaction is going to be different. You know what I mean? You just be like, "Oh, it's a bit of a hostile."
It's a bit of a.
But if you're listening to like explosions in the sky, you would probably go, "Hey, man, be more careful."
Right. Yeah, and like, once we've gotten to the unwrapping of it, or unwrapping the onion, that has been like, I'm a dude. I love rock and roll music, and I just so happen to despise the things behind it, and it's been a hard road for me because like I've lived inside of music for a lot of years, and like there's some great songs by people that like if I met them on the street, I wouldn't punch them in the face, but I would confront them and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?" And it's like, there's an old story that goes around, and I've heard it enough that I'm sure it's true. Where they put those tracks on an altar, in LA or wherever it is, and they cast a spell on them. And it just keeps going until you're just like, it's hard to walk away from. Mark Devlin did a lot of good work on that stuff. But, I think that happens not just with music. I think it happens in television and TV and, the straw manning and the gaslighting that occurs within somebody watching that Black Mirror. Everyone's glued. For whatever reason, human beings, when they see moving images, they're drawn to it. Whether it's a casino machine or it's a television or it's anything else, they're just drawn up to it and they watch it. And then suddenly, somebody who understood the power of that, like, you know what? We can fuck with these human beings and we can tell them what to do. And somebody figured it out, it was Tavistock or like whatever other creepy, government organizations. They figured it out and they're like, we can manipulate people and get them to do what we want them to do. We can tell them the fucking earth looks like a pear. We can tell them like, all this stuff. And then people, will just like, well, we've always known this. No, you haven't always known this. You were told that. You were told it.
Look at the privatized prison system. Like when that was privatized, when that law passed is when hip hop got really all women are B words and drugs are cool. And if you don't sling drugs for spinning wheels, like you're not cool. You know what I mean? Like it basically designed a system to set you up to fail.
Of course. Well, they carve you into a corner, and whether it's through straw man or whether it's through gaslit, they carve you into a corner, and then you have nowhere to walk through. It's a psychological trap, But once you see the trick, it's over. It's done. And what the hardest thing is not convincing people that it happened. They're already ashamed that they were fooled. Most people, they don't want to know that happened to them. They don't want to know that they got fooled. Yeah, they don't want that. It's too big of a hit on their ego. But like if you could snap out of, like, just get the ego out of the way, just push it out of the way and say, it wasn't my fault. I was told this, and my teachers told their teachers told them, and if you just walk back from it, take a step back and be like, okay, I'm okay with starting over right now. All we have is the present, Marcus Aurelius. All we have is the present. I'm going to snap out of it. And you know what? I remember it was not hilarious. It was not in 2015. because I hid FE for 2 years. But about 2018,
really?
2019, because I didn't talk to anybody about it because, like,
but you're famous, so like that's a bit different.
Shut up! I didn't have to do
You
it.
kind of are.
No, this is what it was. I was like, I can't hold this in anymore.
You're both famous.
No, actually, I was. Never mind.
When I realized that I was like, I'm holding this in, it hurts. It hurts to hold it in. I felt better. I was like, okay, I got fooled just like everybody else. I was a space nerd. I thought there were Disneyland, Narnia Spaceballs out there, and I fell for it, and I felt like a fucking fool. But once I did that, and then I went through like another year or so of like just taking the fucking arrows, I suddenly was like, oh, this is comfortable. Life is quite fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about any of the bullshit anymore. It's just bullshit.
And dudes with white lab coats aren't the final word on stuff anymore. Like,
it's a
you
fine
become
looking
more
white lab
even.
coat, though. It's fine. It's a fine looking one.
You know my Jamaican doctor I have now, right? He won't wear a lab coat because he thinks it intimidates people.
Nice.
And he's not a truther. But I was like, I've never seen you in a lab coat. He's like, well, people think I'm looking down on them when I wear it. I've just picked up on that. And this is the guy that
nice.
Got me pretty better. Like, I was doing really bad there for a while. This guy got me off all those pharmaceuticals and stuff.
That's awesome.
Like, I mean, great dude. By the way, we're hogging the screen for our guest. I do want to say something though to anyone that's offended by what I just said about hip hop and the design. Whenever I woke up, I figured out that basically my role models were drug addict, tattoo, womanizing idiots, and that's kind of was my like father figures, like Tommy Lee.
Yeah, but Rico, what about Rage Against the Machine?
Model.
What about Rage Against the Machine? They raged so hard against the machine, they didn't rage at all.
I know, man. I know.
Yeah,
let's have a look at
really
this real fast
cool.
because ABC sent this over to me. Angela Baby Carson, I want to look at this. I think this is really important. This is right on track with what we're talking about tonight. Let's look at it.
Finished.
Dude, I love this show.
Now this is all about making myself credible in your eyes again, and I'm going to do that by admitting that evolution is a lie.
God damn you, Mac.
Yes, please do, Mac. Now, as you can see, this is the evolution meter, and I've put God, the creator of everything, on the right side, and evolution on the left. I've went ahead and put you guys all on the fence, because of course you're going to hear out my
Actually, no. Let's start where I would start.
No matter, I'm righteous. I'm not going to stand here, present some egghead scientific argument based on fact. I'm just a regular dude. I like to drink beer, I love my family. Rock, flag, and eagle, right, Charlie? He's got a point. No, he doesn't. What? See, Charlie? These liberals are trying to assassinate my character. I can't change their mind. I won't change my mind, because I don't have to. Because I'm an American. I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.
And why is that?
Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy.
This is Aristotle, thought to be the smartest man on the planet. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everybody believed him because he was so smart. Until another smartest guy came around, Galileo, and he disproved that theory, making Aristotle and everybody else on Earth look like a bitch. Of course, Galileo then thought comets were an optical illusion, and there's no way that the moon could cause the ocean's tides. Everybody believed that because he was so smart. He was also wrong, making him and everyone else on Earth look like a bitch again. And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch. Are you seeing a pattern?
No.
Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists on the planet. Only problem is, they kept being wrong. Sometimes.
This is insane, you fool!
I'm a fool because I have more faith in the saints that wrote the Bible?
Yeah, because you just read the words of a bunch of guys that you never met, and you just take it on faith that everything they wrote was true.
And what makes you think what your scientists are writing is any more truer than my saints?
Because there are volumes of proven data, numbers, figures. There are fossil records.
Oh, fossil records. I didn't even think about the fossil records. I guess I'll concede. Oh, wait, one more thing before I do, Mr. Reynolds. Have you seen these fossil records?
Have I? Huh?
Have you poured through the data yourself? The numbers, the figures?
Well, no. No.
Oh, interesting. So let me get this straight, Mr. Reynolds. You get your information from a book written by men you've never met. And you take their words as truth based on a willingness to believe, a desire to accept, a leap of, dare I say it, faith?
Come on. Look, I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond to that. Come on. That's a false equivalency.
Just answer the question, Mr. Reynolds.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I rest my case.
Oh, that got me. Yeah.
Thank you. Frank, do you want me to?
Put me over.
Yeah, all right.
What?
Well, we're going on the fence. I mean, it's a shadow of a doubt.
You actually don't believe in evolution anymore?
I don't know. He created a reasonable doubt. He makes you sound like a stupid science bitch.
Oh my God.
Thank you, ABC,
Well
for that. I forgot
done.
about that one. And yeah, that was, let me get you guys back up here. Sorry.
Wait, how are you putting us down there and not muting us? Like, I can't figure that out.
You know what? It's because of this, I think. Hold on. Sorry, guys. This program changes every single week, and we have to learn how to, there we go. We have to learn how to rerun it. But anyway, yeah, so like, comedy always has this ability to do the truth because the jester of the court has to be there. And these guys nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
And like, that's been our whole thing over here is like, we could sit here and hardcore truth everybody and show a bazillion proofs that the earth is flat, which it is. You can go out and look at it for yourself. You can go check it for yourself. I'm past it. I think most of the people that I know that are close, we're working forward with grace and making it funny so that everybody doesn't have to have a meltdown. They're like, I don't have my fucking Millennium Falcon anymore. I don't know what's my space lasers. It's just like we can just walk from it and just get over the stupid bullshit that we were programmed with and move forward.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Singe, I wanted to say thank you, Singe, for coming on, Boston Ray.
I feel like we're ignoring them.
Yeah.
No. I'm listening. I'm here. I was doing so much stuff backstage, like behind the scenes.
Dude, if I get ranty, you got to stop me. Somebody's got to put the rant button on me.
It's Go Gadget live
Not
stream.
as bad as me. At least you don't talk about. Never mind.
Rico asked me.
Did you have? I had all the Star Wars stuff, dude. I had everything. It was like Star Wars was everything to me. I was like spaceship and shit.
You're muted. Singe. Muted.
You're muted, Singe.
Rookie mistake number 2.
No, I'm not muted. It was turned down. Is that better?
There you go. Perfect.
That's what you say. That's what you say when you're doing a podcast. It's turned down.
Yeah, it wasn't muted. It was. Good job, though. I like it.
You gave me the only Star Wars item because it's the Mandela effect one.
I have that one too.
Oh my God, it is.
Hugh TV gave them to us.
This is from the 90s one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it both legs gold? I can't tell.
Yes.
Oh my God. Where'd you get it?
I have one too.
UTV.
Okay. There's a local cop that watches this show.
Ooh,
that
local cop
wants me to promote this. He's got a Boba Fett uniform and wants to sell it. So
can he come on the show? Can we get him on the show?
1995.
That'd be cool if we could get him on. If we could get him on the show in the Boba Fett uniform.
I want to talk to a cop. Let's get a cop on the show.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so cool. Well, no, you know where I got the tattoo, the Don Pettit tattoo? Well, I still ride my bike up there to make phone calls because I like to pace when I talk. Well, I was hanging out there and the tattoo shop sold. So there was a different user in this space. And I was like, oh, sorry, man, I smoke here because it's covered. It was raining on my bike. So I pulled over to smoke. And he was like, well, you don't fucking own it anymore. And I'm like, hey, don't get smart with me, man. I got some street ears, homie. And he was a big dude, but I'm not scared. Well, he's like, I'm going to call the cops if you don't leave. I'm like, okay, I'll just ride around. I mean, it's like a strip mall. I'll just go down there. Well, he called the cops anyway. Like, I guess he thought maybe my tattoos, I was some kind of threat, but he called the cops and he was super cool. And I gave him and his female partner business cards for Sombrero. So I also have to stop talking about the legal stuff.
Yeah, I met you at 2022 in South Carolina for about a minute. You were surrounded by people, actually.
That's a big habit. I'm a super sociable person. Solar Return?
Flat Festival.
Flatober, probably.
Okay, don't be offended, dude. My wife, she knows whenever we're backstage at a show that if I don't mention her name, her cue is to go, hey, my husband's rude. My name's Amory. And that's cue for me to like tell her to get him to say his name so I don't feel rude. Same thing with faces. I'm retarded.
You know what's funny about like the gatherings
that was for you.
of like they always talk about like in some of like some groups, they talk about the soul groups or people that are like-minded and that come together. Flatober, the one thing that I learned from that, and Karen's gatherings and other people's and other events too, it's like you're drawn to an event and then you show up and you're like, oh my God, this is my soul group. What the fuck? You know, it's like not that any of it's bad. Not that any of it's bad. It's just like, okay, that guy's on meth. This guy is a fucking freak show over here. And then this guy's really smart. And then this girl over here, she's like really attractive, but she's like, I don't know what to deal with her. And you're just like spinning and you're like, is this really my soul group? Did I actually?
Oh, yeah. By the way, I drove
3 days
of these because me and Tommy Tell the Truth found a bag of meth at one of the Flatober Fests. Whoa. So there's at least one of you in the bunch.
Yeah, so I'm like, it was like a hardcore introduction to like, okay, you want to meet your like, people? Okay, come down to this event, and then while we all agree on so many subjects, we're like, oh my God, how are you still alive?
Exactly. I'm like, it's not the 80s anymore. You're still smoking that. Wow.
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm the biggest burnout ever. You just can't hear it in my voice. But
I think even more so, like when you talk about the subject, like it already exhausts somebody who's like in the minority of thinking about cosmology. It already exhausts you to begin with, and then you go to a social event where everyone else is thinking like you, and you realize, oh holy shit, what a house of vagrants. And you're like, this is what I come from. That being said, I will say this, that the greatest minds I've ever met were at these events, at Karen's events, some of the meetups. I've never met
amazing
smarter people. Now they might be fucking cracked out, but they might also be able to solve some.
Are they, or are they just?
I've never seen nobody cracked out at any of these things. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I've never seen, like at Crumb's house, like Crumb didn't seem cracked out to me.
No,
and,
Crumb, no,
what's his name?
I'm gonna the people that were there were.
Crumb is great.
They're unnamed. They're unnamed. These people are unnamed. I'm not gonna name people that I saw that were cracked out. I just knew some people were unnamed.
Oh, you don't believe me? No. Hey, Josh. No kidding. It was like in like a, what do you call it? The flower things in concrete parking lots. Never mind.
It's a flower pot.
There was a bag of meth outside the door. The one Flatober Fest that was in that terrible place.
I've been
downtown.
to so many. I don't know which one.
It was the one that was the audio was terrible because the acoustics were just screaming at you. But like we both walked by it at the same time. Actually, I can remember exactly what I said to Tommy Tell the Truth. I was like, "Is that Karen's car?" Because she had a Deftones sticker on it.
Right.
Oh, you're just kidding. Okay. No, I did the shit out of it after I found it. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. My point was is like the realization is like when you come into a group of people that are thinking like you, all walks of life enter, and you're like, your old ego is like, I would never ever hang out with any of these people ever, but you realize that they share your brain, and you're like, okay, now I got to figure out how to get along with these people, and like, we saw what happened with that horrible thing that happened out there, the last year. It got a bunch of people fighting. It got a bunch of people angry at each other and everything else. And it's like everyone was just suddenly forgot that we all agree on cosmology and decided to start fighting with each other, and it's almost like a circus watching some of the greatest minds I've ever met, in my life that can describe moments perfectly, and then got affected by what I think was an attack, a psyop attack on the mentality of our team, as it were.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
big time.
Stop fucking fighting with each other. We have the truth on
That's
our
what I
side.
think it was
Just stop.
for. I don't think it had
It was a
anything to
psyop.
do with science.
No, it wasn't.
I think it
psyop.
was
I knew the whole time.
a
I could tell
divide
the whole
and
time.
conquer technique.
It was a divide and conquer technique, and I watched it unfold. I'm like, I don't care what they saw in the sky, whether they went there or not. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't change the valid arguments of the whole thing. And I just watched the greatest minds I've ever seen just devolve into this fighting position. And I don't know if they were looking for clicks or.
I feel
or
like
what it
once you see that the Earth is flat, like yourself, once you see it for yourself, like you can't unsee that shit. Like
you can't.
I don't know. So some of these people that went back,
but NASA's still fake. I might buy into his change of mind if he didn't go that far. But the fact that he's even on board with NASA, I'm just like, nope, you can't unsee that.
It's weird. Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. How much money you got? Wow.
Yeah, and
I feel like they never seen it in the first place. Like the people that left, they never seen it to begin with.
I feel like maybe they didn't get their arms around it, or they were bought off, or their balls were in a vice. It's
well, they were just like here because they liked us and they wanted friends and they wanted to be part of a group, but like they never really seen it because I don't know what you guys could show me to convince me of the globe again. Like,
it's
I was thinking about it today. Is there anything like that I could see with my own eyes that would prove it?
The debate is over. They've not addressed the principal questions in 10 years. Globalists have had a chance to do it. They haven't addressed it. And when you see that, and once you see what they do to not address it over and over and over again, eventually you're just like, like right now, like Sav is like, I don't know if he's still going over there. I was going to try to pull up. Is he still going over there? He's got a globalist over there. And
So
this dude is he still going?
Sorry. I think
What's his name? Steven or something?
I don't know. He's just crushing some Globy over there. Maybe it's over, but it's just like you watch people of the heliocentric persuasion. They start to wander off into the woods, and they don't address questions. They don't address the measurable, observable thing that they're seeing right in front of them. And they start talking about the sky, and they start talking about these wavery papers that they've read, and like all this stuff. And we've been through this for 10 fucking years. 10 years. We've talked about this stuff. It was like, address these questions. Where is the measurable curvature? Gas pressure without a container, flat water in aggregate. No, they can't address it. So they veer off into ad hom. They veer off into projection. They veer off into this stupid bullshit that we can see from a fucking mile away. And like, did anyone catch Solve stuff today?
A little bit.
I caught a good.
That one guy, yeah. That guy, yeah.
It's like it's a character study in a Globy. You watch them wander off into the weeds, and then they're stuck in an eddy, and then they're cornered, and they painted themselves into a corner. And like, you're not really seeing the world, are you? You're not really seeing it. Are you even in the world?
It's like the same. So the controllers use the same mind control techniques in 2020. Just in a different way, I think. I don't know exactly how, but it seems like it's the same. Like they know the human mind in this way, so they can do many different things with the same technique.
Mind virus. I mean, it was
because that was super loud. Like to me, like okay, I know I made a few more flat earthers at Nissan. Like I think I sold maybe 70 total apps there or 60 or something. I made a few more. It really got intense after that event that happened because people were like, we are being kind of lied to on a massive level. And then they were like, give me the flat earth thing again. So a disc in space with water. I'm like, that's what they're trying to do, man. They're distracting you with that image to make you think we're idiots. And he's like, I'll hear more. And I'm like, here's $3.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy you this energy drink.
It's basically like it's basically not outer space. It's like, this is all that there is. We're the creation. We're the center of all creation, and everything is going around us. And we're special.
I call it a basement.
Yeah, and
So-
I think to that end, Ray, I would say like I don't usually say this particular terminology because it's hard for newbies to understand. But kinetic duality, the old story is this. Have you ever been on say a dock, and there's a boat, and the boat starts moving, but you think that you're moving? Or if you've been in traffic,
that
and
happened
someone
to me.
is parked to your right, they reverse out of nowhere. But
thought
your
I was
foot's on the
moving,
brake,
bro.
Your foot's on the brake, and you're looking. You're like, "Fuck! I'm moving. I'm gonna crash into some." No, What they did was they basically exploited the human mind at the very basic ability to understand that you're not moving. The sky is. They exploited it, and they used it. And you can't make a responsible decision about your life if you don't know when or where you are. So you could say all sorts of excuses and funny stories about like how you think it's this way or that way. You can't make a responsible decision unless you know when and where you are. And that's how they got it. Everybody, I mean, your spiritual journey after that is yours and yours alone. And I will never go into that world. They fucked with us at the very base of our brain and said, you're fucking spinning.
The
That's
very
what they
beginning.
said.
The very,
I
very
think it was
beginning.
Crow 777 that was like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Who did I interrupt someone? My hearing.
No, go ahead.
I've got
Go
drummer's
ahead.
ears. I think Crow 777 was on Freeman Fly's show. I think it was him, and said, you know what? The biggest proof for flat Earth is walk outside, close your eyes, and meditate, and you tell me what you think. Are we spinning, or are we just sitting still in the center of creation? And I mean, I didn't put it as eloquently as him. I'm sure that dude's brilliant, but something like just go outside and shut up and listen, and
sit.
That hit
still.
home to me.
And it's not only like a spiritual thing, it's provable, testable, observable, repeatable science. Like the earth is flat. You can measure it,
Yeah, and just ask people to do that. It's like, look, you don't need us. We're flat Earth 2.0, 3.0, 4, who knows? It's been around for 1,000 years. You can go out and check for yourself. It ain't a cult. It ain't something stupid that someone's telling you. It's just you go out and look.
If it's
and
so
then just come back
then
and
why is
report
it banned?
You don't have to be part of any group.
It's stupid.
It's
Why do they care?
weird.
It's so stupid.
Isn't it weird? It's so fucking weird. Like, you don't even need a P900. You can go, like where I'm at, I'm on an island. Not everybody lives on an island, but you can see water towers 13, 14 miles away with the naked eye. I can use binoculars and see them and disprove 3959 radius and spherical trig. I can just do it right there. Right there. I can just do it. But asking people to go out and actually do their own observation is a big ask when, they're just like, I don't want to do. I want Spaceballs. I want Narnia.
And they dumbed down the society so much that nobody seems to want to do the math. Like nobody knows how to do math anymore. So
I had to go back. Dude, I had to go back and I was like, dude, do I really have to go back to geometry and trig and relearn? Because I did take it in when I was in high school and I have a degree in biology, so we continued to exercise it, but that brain muscle was old. When I had to go back to it, I was like, this is going to fucking suck. And so I looked at the literature and I was like, okay, how are they getting their curve rate? This I don't understand it. And then I went through these other rabbit holes. I'm like, okay, so you've got, so like how far out is it accurate? And I went through everything. I was like, is that a bigger ball? I went through all this bullshit.
You did
and I realized, fuck, I did remember it. It was in there. I just had to exercise the muscle and do it. But if you went through high school and you didn't pay attention to shit, even though high school is also indoctrination, they do teach you some useful things. Namely, how to measure distances across, I don't know, say a river in case you need to build a bridge.
Well, if you
use Pythagorean theorem. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you do the curvature math, what it averages out to 8 inches per mile square, I think it's like the horizon is 3.1 miles away, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So think about that in your head. Like the curve of the earth is 3 miles away. Like the earth curves down like a ball in 3 miles.
Every 3 miles.
You believe that?
Stand over there at 3.5 miles. Bye. I can't
They
see
substituted.
you. No, I can see you.
Yeah.
The other day, I seen an airplane.
Mates.
If you were to boil it down, they substituted perspective for actual Earth, or not actual, but they substituted perspective for Earth curvature. In other words, they plugged and played.
Yeah.
Curvature, but you can easily go out and take a camera or binoculars or anything and disprove 3959 radius. Anyone can. You don't have to be a genius. And this isn't a cult. We are just people looking at a thing and says it looks fucking flat. Go check it out for yourself and fuck off with all your cog dis.
So the other day,
that's where I'm at.
It's changed too. Even people that aren't flat earthers seem to have changed too.
Yeah,
Nissan, like a noticeable, he's a flat earther, but I love him. Like it's not hostile anymore. That's changed for us.
I was going to the store the other day. 50% of the people were like, "Oh yeah, that's silly to think we'd be on a spin." I didn't say flat Earth. But wouldn't that be silly if we were on a spinning ball flying through space? And they're all like, "Yeah, that's really stupid."
Did you see that episode? No, that's what I told.
Retarded.
Actually, I think it was someone else's podcast, but I was like, "How about sell globe Earth as a joke, like this, guys? You wouldn't believe what the conspiracy theorists are saying now. They're saying that they're on a spinning water ball shooting through space. Can you believe that?
It's so
if we came up with it,
like flip it back and just crazy.
Nobody would believe us.
Theorists, man. I'm into it though. I mean, I've been now a spinning ball guy. To me, that sounds retarded.
So the other day I was at the airport, I was next to the airport, right? And the planes were landing, and I seen the plane landing down, and it was real big. And I thought to myself, well, if the earth was curved in 3.1 miles away, isn't that how airplanes should look going over our heads all the time? Because they're curving around the ball, right? So they should be shouldn't fly straight. They should fly like they're landing all the time.
Yeah, that's the bugger with a lot of pilots too. Is like when you address them about nose down course correction, especially at about 500 miles an hour, it's like, aren't you nose down course correcting over the curve? And either the pilot is flat and they can't talk about it because they're worried they're going to get fired, or they will talk about it, but they're like they'll blur out their face or whatever. But I think pilots are going to be key in the next couple of years to be like, we just fly it on over.
I think they're opening up to it because I've seen
talked to a couple
pilots. Like compilations of pilots now. Yeah, it's flat.
Land surveyors too. I just had one I got on video and he was like,
for a living.
I just press a button and it calculates it for me. Is that true?
Yeah. There's another one going
GPS
around too.
Wasn't called GPS back then.
Yeah, there's another one going around too. Where there was a device in a plane. It was like, no, this corrects for curvature. This one, and then someone tried to call the company that designed the device, and it wasn't even there. There's so many little bitty things about like the impossibility.
Andrew knows what it was called.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, look at it this way.
Where is he?
The only difference between a rail gun and a jet is the rail gun flies a lot faster, but it's point to point contact, 100 miles. As public record suggests, and it's point to point, like 100 miles. It's you just don't have that
point of sight.
You just don't have that. So like, but at a slower rate and a slower sample rate.
Point of sight.
Yeah, in a jet plane, you should have nose down course correction. Roughly. Somebody in the chat want to do the math or whatever, but you're always nose down course correction if you're flying over alleged Narnia balls. And so, when you go through this whole selection, all of this that we've all gone through for the last fucking 10 years, at least our little thing that we have, and you walk it back, what you really see is that a religion was built in the 50s, 40s, 30s, depending on who was in charge of it. And they needed
scientism.
They needed this spherical thing to happen, for their religion to happen, which adds a lot of zeros to the ends of numbers to confuse the fuck out of the average person of thinking about the world, the natural world that they live in. You know, and the natural world that you live in is look around, use your eyes. You're probably as smart as any fucking stupid ass cunt scientist with a white lab coat. They are so indoctrinated into their own fucking hole that they're going to buy their Lamborghinis and Ferraris and have their big house, and they're going to say the party line, which they were taught, and they suck. They're the worst cocks of all time. They fucking suck.
Materialistic.
They suck.
Yeah.
You know, and so the next time you see somebody try to be like, oh, you got a master's degree, you know, fuck you. You know, that's where I'm at, dude.
You're great. You're part
Straight
of
up
that,
told
yeah.
Nico and Lowry, if I go away, I didn't sell out. They threatened my babies.
There's that whole
There's
thing.
no amount of money that would let me sleep at night if I did that to you people. I'm a super sensitive dude, but like, if you knew my height,
nah,
I wouldn't tell
we're
you
the
my
hard
height
edge
because it's too
hard edge,
too high.
We're the
You
hard
wouldn't believe
edge
me
of
anyway.
flat Earth.
I'm not dumb.
They won't do that to us because they know that we're dangerous. So yeah, they won't do.
So I did a little. Hold on a second here.
So what you were saying, the college thing, right? The degrees and stuff. It's like if you pay for school for 8 or 12 years and you went to school and you memorized everything they tell you to memorize and you pass all the tests, but everything they taught you turned out to be bullshit. Well, congratulations. You just earned yourself a bullshit degree, a degree in bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I'll take facts over credentials any day.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too. Is like there's valid knowledge out there, like knowledge in the engineering sector, knowledge in electricity, knowledge in the natural sciences. That's all valid. All that stuff that if you took in that information and it's useful for you and it helps other people, that's valid. You just have to clip off the top one, which is the mystical part, which is the pseudoscience, which is astrophysics. Just clip it off. Everything else that you learned stuff is valid. It's valid and it's useful and it helps people and it helps people.
Why didn't we learn about like the orphan train, for instance? Isn't that
that would be interesting?
The most interesting thing that we could have like. Whoa, nope, they didn't mention it. Why? Because there's something connected to the reason.
yeah, good one.
Let's go. Let's go.
You go to commercial.
Let's go old world.
Before you go to commercial,
my ranting is done tonight. I'm going to let you, Singe and Ray. I want you guys for the second hour. Let's do historical. Let's take a break. I'm going to try it. I actually combined all these commercials.
I'm on board with this plan, but a little aside to what you guys are talking about with college. The only thing college did for my wife, because she's super higher educated than me, is it made it take 8 months of being married to a dude that was a flat earther before she flipped, because of the even deeper indoctrination.
It's tough to get outside of that, man.
8 months, man, and we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. I was just like, this is killing me.
All right, guys, we'll see you guys here in about 5 minutes. Cheers.
Shopping for that perfect flat earth item. Homeschool section. Featured content creators. Biblical cosmology. Old world research. Video search feature. Games. The Meetup Maker will help you find your local tribe. Matchmaker, to help you find that special someone. Search your selected radius and say hello. Image search for those key images at your fingertips. Enjoy our chat section. Selected new background in our settings area. Time lapse. Zodiac. And time zones. The Friend Finder helps you see where all the cool people are hanging. Use your referral code and earn points and dome cryptocurrency. Beat the Google censorship and get your Flat Earth Clock app today at flatearthdave.com.
Hey guys, Lowry here. My new record, Night Movies at Beach 97, is out now on Mother West. It can be found on all streaming platforms. However, stick around to the end of this video as there is a better deal that allows you to get the recordings, all of them, 20 years of music, on your device or your machine in high fidelity, and circumvent the middleman. So stick around real quick and I'll tell you that. So if we pop on the hyperlink that is coming up here now, you will, there's also a link in the description. You can go to the label website and you can pick out a song you want to download by itself, or you can buy an album there. They're all there. There's 60 tunes, but if you click on that buy digital album link there, that's the box set, a digital box set, my entire collection of 20 years. You can put whatever number you want in there. It says $50, but whatever you deem desirable, you can have all of my music in high fidelity on your machine. So thank you. Sorry, I just was talking.
No, that's cool. It looked like it was on purpose. Then now it's your turn, Ray.
I was going to say,
Go,
let's
Ray.
get into a little bit of old world. There's a lot of stuff here, and I think you two, because I'm just gonna step off and listen. I want you guys to give just a general overlay of history. In other words, talk about it. In aggregate's my favorite word, which is like, I think all of us agree that one of these kids is doing his own thing. That means like when we're looking at, say, a marble building with columns next to a wood house, why it's weird, why we have old pictures that have been fabricated, who the fuck knows, mud streets next to marble buildings, that's kind of weird. And it does relate to our cosmology because, like, and I'll quote Mark Sargent on this, we're not the first person to rent this apartment. I think it's important. It tags into FE cosmology, and I want you guys to go. And I'm going to clip off because I've been ranting way too much. You guys go.
All right.
Home run, though, buddy.
I mean, what was the question again? Like, exactly what do you want me to do?
I want you to bring it together in a way that doesn't get Miltology people in fights with mud flood people, which gets people in fights with like all sorts of, like, I've always taken this thing in a big chunk of hamburger. It's like clearly something doesn't make sense in the architecture of what we're seeing. You know, some buildings look really fucking amazing and other buildings look like shit. And mud streets in front of it and yada, yada, yada. I mean, you know the story, you know, like help people that have never even explored this topic, help them.
You can start with maybe, I'll let you start then.
All right. Well, I believe
I was going to say you could start with the idea of that.
Yeah, I got it.
Dates that they give us maybe, and the tools that they had. Well, it goes all the way back to the pyramids, to the Egypt and to Indians.
It goes all the way back. It goes all the way back to Genesis.
All the way back to as far as we can.
Put me on the screen.
Like enlarged?
No, on the bottom, my screen
To
share.
Samaria, to
Got it.
Mesopotamia, to the beginning of time.
Genesis.
Yeah.
There were giants in the earth in those days. So before the flood is called the antediluvian period, the antediluvian era. After the flood is after the flood. There were giants in the earth those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of the old men of the renown. So basically what happened was God sent down the sons of God. They were supposed to just kind of like experience life. And they were supposed to just kind of like observe and everything, like, and not interfere with, anything. But they were attracted to the earth women, you know what I mean? By their hair. And they taught them how to do makeup, right? And then there was Nephilim, giants, right? And
you're saying the Anunnaki before that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm trying to say that there was a flood. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
But I'm trying to show the reason why there was a flood. Because there was the fallen angels were having sex with the women and making these giants. And the giants, I'm not saying all these are real, but like they all can't be fake. Like there's so many of them. Like they just dig up giant bones like all over the world. Like there's charts. So there was the giants and then there was the mound builders too. So the mound anywhere you see mound, like Great Serpent Mound or anything like that, it's probably it was a mound of giant bones. Like,
the Great Serpent Mounds, you?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I
want to say something real quick.
They had big
Ray
giants
Ray.
like this, and then they had ones that were a little bit smaller called the mound builders, and those were the ones
I
that.
want to say something, Ray Ray, real
ones.
quick.
Yeah.
Ben, Ray Ray's being a prince, and Singe Man, he was a last minute call because Ben didn't. He only has Instagram. Like he's super off grid. Oh, Lowry. Sorry. Anyway, Boston Ray. The reason why they don't have like a straight up layout of their presentation tonight is because it was a last minute thing. So I want the world to know that Ray knows his crap, and
I'm doing this Go Gadget live stream like
we're milking him right now.
Yeah, Go Gadget.
So Smithsonian admits to the destruction of thousands of giant human skeletons in the early 1900s. A ruling in the U.S. Supreme Court had forced the Smithsonian Institute to release classified documents dating from the early 1900s, proving the organization had been involved in a historical cover-up of evidence showing giant human remains in the tens of thousands that were uncovered across America. Tens of thousands,
dude, that's crazy.
And they were ordered.
No, they just wrote that. They just imaginarily wrote that. That's just a coincidence or something.
They're just making this up.
Made it up. Yeah.
In minutes, it's to protection of the mainstream chronology of human evolution. I don't believe in the human evolution part, but take what you want. Allegations were made by the American Institution of Alternative Archaeology that the Smithsonian Institution had destroyed thousands. So giant remains during the early 1900s wasn't taken so well by the Smithsonian, who reacted. So they're suing, Smithsonian's suing. But yeah, so 5 thoughts on the Smithsonian. There's people. All right. Back to this. So there's a lot of different ones. Like sometimes people say these are fake. Like I get it. Like they can be faked, right? But like. Look how big that skull is, though. Like, they can be faked like really easy. Like we even faked a few of me. Like we put me in the picture as a giant, me and Singe Man, just for fun. But
oh yeah, didn't I use that for a thumbnail?
Yeah, you did. But like giant human. This one says in Saudi Arabia, right here. Look, I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of real.
Okay. What happened?
We're just looking at the skeletons.
Oh, no.
That one kind of looks fake to me for some reason. It's in too good a condition.
They all look fake in a way because our minds can't grasp that. It's like, whoa, that's not right.
And it's getting as good as it is. Game's over.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? No footage is going to show up where you don't go, is this real? If anything shocking happens, it's done.
Thank goodness we saw this stuff before that. Yeah.
You can put me back
No
up on the screen.
kidding.
I'm just gonna no sound. So let that says
I
it
gotcha.
shows a lot of images.
I got you. I see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Bible. Which one? What's that book?
What?
Which Bible book talks about them?
That was
One.
Genesis, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But there's
it
other
does?
stuff.
I didn't know.
I think so.
It's right in Genesis.
There were
Right in the
giants in those days? Is that line?
Yeah,
pretty
there
sure
was
it says-
giants in those days. So,
If DJ wasn't off tonight, he's a Bible scholar, dude. He would nail it right away. He'd tell you
What's the
everything,
other
the number
book?
and everything.
That one. I can't remember the name of it. It's the rare one they took out of the Bible. You know that one?
Oh, it's still in the Ethiopian Bible. What's it called? Enoch.
The Book of Enoch. Yeah, that talks a lot about.
So
that.
these are the
It's still in the
actual,
Ethiopian Bible. Did you know that?
No,
These are
now
the
I do.
mounds.
That's great. I'm gonna look it up.
You see, like these are the mounds. Like this one's in Missouri, like pre-Columbian mounds and mound builders. You see, they're all over the place. Mounds of bones, giant. Well, they were bones. They probably took them all out now, but they even show diagrams of how they were making them.
So wow, if they wrote that whole thing on. Okay, I've written stories before. It takes a definite, serious focus to write even a short story. So for them to write all that makes me think that something really was weird and happened. Because I know just to write a short story, you have to be really focused and think about it.
To get back to Lowry's question, I feel like they were doing some kind of DNA shit, really, and making these like monsters. Like also maybe the dinosaurs were giant lizards that were around, back then, but not really like the dinosaurs like they tell us. Like the results of them messing with God's creation, and then God got pissed and he flooded the earth, and he was like, wiped everything out. And I think that it happened like 1,000 years sooner than they tell us, and on the cornerstones of buildings.
I still think it's happening.
But I mean, on the cornerstones of buildings is like the year sometimes, right? And it'll say
no, I meant cloning and DNA stuff.
But it'll say like 1933, right? But
yeah.
Like, but in some buildings, like it used to say X933, I933, or J.
Yeah.
Which stands for Jesus, the year of our Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they took that first letter and they just added a 1, and they changed all everything everywhere. And there's like a fake 1,000 years.
Sometimes they talk about it's either a J or an I, but either way, it's like it's weird,
right?
Isn't it?
They're trying to
I've seen that.
They're trying to put time and space between us and the creator and the creation, whatever
they like
that
those,
is.
Yeah, those zero sandwiches. Put a bunch of zeros, and it just turns people's minds off. You put a bunch of zeros,
yes,
in distances. You put and like it's
light
really,
years.
it's the scam and the magic trick is so easy once you see it. It's like put as many years and stuff in between what actually happened, and people, their minds just shut off. It's like, no, it might have been even 100 years ago, 200 years ago.
Or better yet, make it invisible and just say it's there.
And like how the buildings just go low under the ground. Like you don't even know how low they go. They just keep going, and then they keep digging up all this crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And big giants and giant bones and stuff.
I don't think it's real, but what do you think about the underground of the pyramids in Egypt? Have you seen that kind of research?
The ground penetrating incident that happened.
I don't know if it's real, but
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we're talking about scale, right? So we talk about scale. Like people don't understand, like Baalbek. If you've never done any research on Baalbek, that was a fun one. We're talking about blocks that just there's no instrument on this place that we live in that can move these fucking things. Especially there's an obelisk there that's half buried, half uncovered. You can't move it. You just can't move it. And it's like, I don't even know how many tons it is, but it's, and like that's what scale is. And like if you go to the American Southwest, I mean, this is really important, especially in old world stuff. And I think this plays into a lot of like what you were talking about, Ray, and is we don't understand scale at the way we are. In other words, when you go out to say Yosemite, I went out to Yosemite. I did Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Zion, Mount Zion, interesting name, park out there. And I was looking at things that I did not understand the scale of them. It was so vast and so amazing. I don't care what anyone says about you. You say maybe you never want to go to the Grand Canyon, or you just don't have time to do it, or whatever. You've seen pictures. Fine. No, you have not seen the Grand Canyon unless you stepped to the edge and looked at the scale of it.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Can I do a little aside here that backs that up big time? Because I'll forget if I don't. By the way, that's an interruption problem. When I was on tour and we stopped at the Grand Canyon for my ex-bass player's birthday, that's just what he wanted. And like haggard dudes on tour, like brushing our teeth at the bathroom and everything. But we were standing there and I'm like, did someone drag a shovel down at the bottom right there? Like it looks like it's divided. And then like a few minutes later, a yellow school bus went down that road. I was like, that's a road. That is not someone scraping the ground. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what kind of scale difference that is. So just backing you up, it looked like someone drug like a hoe or a shovel behind them.
Yeah.
If you were to
it was a highway.
And Ray, and since I think you guys can relate to this, like what happened was, well, my experience of what happened with the old world movement was like people started using their eyes and they just started looking at structures and they stopped all of the nonsense that they were taught about what structure was and they started looking at it. And they're like, okay, what does this look like to me exactly? And then all you meltologists out there, you're going to appreciate this. I don't have enough information on meltology to give you my position on it. But what they did was they looked at something and they were like, it looks like something burned it down or melted it into the soil around it. That's what it looks like. Okay, now, all right. Karen B, I know if you listen to this.
I was just about to say, I think her deals with Jerry, not meltology.
Yeah. Well, Jerry was the first
I could be wrong.
That brought it up. It was like,
that's the thing about meltology. It's like there are some melted things, but I think they get a little carried away with it.
Yeah, and so like, but the responsible way to look at it was like, okay, that's possible. Okay, it looks like something hit it from the sky. It looks really nasty. I mean, the American Southwest looks like a bomb went off. All right. And like you go there with real eyes, you're like, fuck me, what the hell happened here? But like there's a couple other things that could describe that sort of action on a structure, water at scale. I mean, nobody, as far as we know, as far as how we've lived, we don't understand what pressure is at water scale, say Mount Everest style water scale above, say, a structure or a mountain or anything else. It's so much pressure, it could look like melting. It could look like that. It could have so much pressure that it just bends the very thing that made the structure available, and it just looks like melting. Okay, that's one way. Some of the other people that talk about it are like, no, there's tech there. There's like, they want to talk about the Ark of the Covenant that can just fucking melt everything in its fucking path. I'm like, okay, well, I can't deny biblical at this point in time because of FE, so like you walk through all of these different things. All I want to know is I want to get more data on it. I want to see more stuff. And, as far as like the old world movement is concerned, I want to give them great credit because they really just opened their eyes and they looked at a building and they said, what doesn't make sense about this building?
You know what else we started doing research
Karen B
into
doesn't
the
like
bricks.
my coffee break either. So I think you're right. I don't think she hates meltology too, Jerry and meltology.
Well,
I think
Jerry's
started
just
doing-
kind of a weird dude. And Jerry is just a weird dude. He's like probably on the spectrum. I don't know. I mean, he's just a weird dude. But he did spot something that looked weird. It's like,
I'm on the spectrum too, but I've done mean to people. Well, I mean, I interrupt a lot, but
Jerry. I haven't seen Jerry in years. I don't know where he's.
Well,
at.
you know, he was a race car driver, and he wrapped himself around a telephone pole. Go.
I know, and also I also was present the day that he and Karen B had an epic argument. I was just like, whoa. I mean, I've never seen two people go at each other, you know. But like Jerry's.
Wait.
He's
Was
got
that on her channel?
Sorry.
Where was that? Because I think I saw it too.
I want to say it was 2 years ago, and you know, he's an interesting dude.
Was it
melting or water at scale or like whatever? I mean, something happened to those buildings. Something happened to made them be deformed. They look like they're they're not melting, but they look like they're part of a mountain. They look like they were carved out of a mountain, which could be any number of reasons. You know why that happened? I don't know.
So Sodom and Gomorrah, city turned to salt.
Yeah, it's really.
Ooh,
the lines get really gray.
What
there.
did that?
Like,
we got a lot of underground too. Like we got both. Like what were they hiding from? You guys have seen like what Indian reservation has like the really tall little cubbies like in the mountain, like definitely man-made. You know what
I know what you're talking about. I mean, look at
name, but they have their little things up there on the side of the mountain. I mean, like, what the fuck? Who are those? Somebody in chat. Somebody knows it.
Isn't it to the reservation where there's like a conspiracy that there's a government building there and UFO stuff?
I mean, there's a lot of people that are coming on YouTube right now saying like, we're trying to figure out what part of the Grand Canyon we can't go to because there's no roads to get there. I mean,
I have seen a bunch of that stuff,
you know, but like I haven't seen a decent one that actually someone got to some place that looks really interesting. Like if there's no road to get to the place that's off limits, that you'd have to hike the desert to get out to that spot in the Grand Canyon and find it. So nobody's actually identified it as far as I can tell. And I've looked on YouTube, like, you know, maybe on Rumble, there's somebody that's found a way to get out to one of these places that were supposedly off limits to go there. But it's not reporting back to me. I'm not finding it. In other words, people, they say they go to a place. They're like, this is off limits, but they never deliver the goods. They never deliver the goods. So they like show a little hole in the mountain and they're like, this is where we're not supposed to. No, that doesn't show anything, dude. You just got your
Wait, the door closing, that footage, is it the door closing? Seems like, you know, like you were talking about with AI, all bets are off now. Who knows what's an AI giant door in a mountain? Like,
yeah,
we have to go there in person now.
Unless you do it on your own and you actually you can solidify the data as your own, your own data.
Yep.
And then you can say like this. I took this off my phone. You can look at this. It's from my phone. Here it is. And that's you can't.
They do find bricks though. They do find bricks on the inside of these caves sometimes, like in the most impossible places. Yeah. You got to hand it to them on that.
Truth Seeker's been to some really cool places. Truth Seeker 69. She used to go to some interesting places right here in the United States.
And bricks do melt at 11,000 degrees Celsius, 1,100 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
What's up, Algo? I see you're out there. Algo is one of our buds out there in Colorado. He's done a lot of stuff looking at the mountains, what they are, and what they appear to be, you know, with a clean eye.
The reason why I have trouble believing all mountains are melted buildings, like I believe some of them could have been a building like that got melted and just was there for a very long time, right? But I think that like Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro, like those, how could those be melted buildings? Like, you know how big that would be? Are you serious? And when a building melts, if a building was to melt, right, it's not going to be the full size that it was, right? Like it's going to crumble down to rumble maybe and shrink a little bit, right? So if Mount Everest is that big when it was once a building, then it would be completely bigger. Like, how big were these giants? You know what I mean? Like, did they need a building that big?
Yeah, and the question then becomes scale. In other words, we don't think like if we're to speak responsibly about the Nephilim from the scriptures, we don't think at scale like they do. So in other words, if you look at that mountain range that runs across Nepal, which has Mount Everest in it, it looks like jagged edges constantly. It just looks like jagged edges. The amount of damage to a constructed thing that has right angles, that's intelligently built, to blend it down to just a jagged scar, which is up in the sky over the course of several countries, would take something at scale that, like, it would almost have to be guaranteed that you wouldn't recognize it. If it's intelligent, attack on a giant structure. Now, that being said, like when I also look at, say Devil's Tower in South Dakota, it's hard for me not to look at it and be like, that looks a lot like a tree stump. It's really difficult for me not to say that.
I know, man. I know. Hey,
Shannon lives in the redwood forest where the giant trees are at, so.
That's my best friend. She actually knows my IQ because we have the same IQ.
That'd be a good reason to use it in a movie for a truth drop. Say, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah. And then Avatar, they had the same sort of thing in Avatar, which was like, is that truth in plain sight too? And then there was a lot of discussion about Devil's Tower and that those veins, those rock veins, are 5-sided. Is that
another problem I have?
Aren't they octagons? Or am I wrong?
It was the nature of what a silicon vein would look like. That would be.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, but basically, it was it calcified. That's probably not the right word. Karen B is going to hate me on this, but like it looks like that's a silicon-based large life form.
Are you lurking, Karen?
Karen's probably out there. Maybe she's not. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I was amazed to find that they grow. I didn't know that they were. I thought they were laser cut that way and then put on. I didn't know they grew like that. Those crystals.
So
the more important thing is like what I've always enjoyed about, like, I wasn't raised in church. I wasn't raised in religion, but I like finding parallels between scriptures and reality that I can see. And when they talk about the old trees, that's in scripture, and then I see what looks like, these structures, not structures, but like plateaus, as they call them, around the realm. They look like they've been hewn. It just looks that way. I don't know if that's what happened, but it looks hewn, and I know what would cut that fucking thing off at, exactly flat across that. And why would it look like a fucking tree stump? I don't know. I don't have the fucking answers on that, but
the wind,
it's crazy.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
the wind did it.
The wind did it.
Literally, that's
billions
what
and billions of sandblasted wind did that over the years.
Man, I'm telling you, we need to corner the market and being stand-up comedians that reverse conspiracy theories. That tell the truth. Get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like I did with Flat Earth.
The wind did it. Of course.
Crazy conspiracy guys that think it's a spinning water ball. Can you believe what these tinfoil hat people are saying? Like, I shit on them and then I sell it, and they're listening.
You should make an AI video.
They're shitting on people in real life, by the way.
Yeah,
that would be a good AI video.
Is if you go back and look at old TV commercials, especially like L. Ron Hubbard, you can see that they're trying to fabricate a religion. But all those guys were in bed together, all of them. Walt Disney, L. Ron Hubbard, the German that came over and started the U.S. space program. And they were all in bed together, and they created a fucking religion for everybody to follow. It's like, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And like, if anyone's come out of a cult, say Mormonism or it's just the same bullshit story sold on late night television over and over again.
Have you guys seen the
everyone's
movie
like,
about Scientology?
Yeah, it's a Spaceballs, Narnia
like
bullshit.
Mormonism, Utah.
What's that movie?
So hilarious and it's so obvious. And like, what do you do with that stuff? You're like, look, guys, this is how religions are started. People, guys that, they're not empathetic. They're psychopaths, and they know that, the human brain is a soft acceptance of ideas, especially at youth. And then you just create Spaceballs. I've been ranting a lot, dude, guys.
No, it's solid rant though.
Singe, you and Boston,
What's
you
that
finish it
movie
off.
with Philip Seymour
I don't know,
Hoffman?
we're
Where
bringing it.
it's about
I'm right here.
it's about L. Ron Hubbard, but they had to hide it. Did you know that?
What?
Like the
What
guy
is-
that Philip Seymour Hoffman is playing is supposed to be L. Ron Hubbard, but
what are you talking about? What-
Tom
it's the
Cruise
Master.
sat and
It's the
watched
Master.
it with the Master
called
with
The
Joaquin
Master, yeah.
Phoenix. Well,
No.
Joaquin took the movie to preview for Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise was like, "Nope."
It's just, and he's on record saying like, look, you just create a religion. You just create it and you just spray it out there and you have enough money to spend and convince people that this is the way it is.
Well, didn't he write science books
Pretty
first,
crazy,
or
yeah.
science fiction first?
Science book. I don't know. I only understand the scientific method. The science seems like a perversion of the scientific method, like scientism.
I think so,
it's like my favorite one was like somebody started a Facebook page a long time ago, which is like, I fucking love science. That was the name of the Facebook page. You know what they did? They just put pictures of dolphins up there over and over again. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not the scientific method. That's you taking pictures of dolphins and pretending like you're really smart, but you're really just putting pictures of dolphins on a Facebook page. That's not science. Like, the scientific method is observation, looking out at the world and comparing it with your peers' responses. That's it.
You
That's
learned
what
that
it
in
is.
school. See, school taught us logic. They taught us to use logic, and then when now that we're using it, I don't know.
Ooh, they don't like.
You know
they
who
don't
needs
like
to
the
learn logic
thing coming
is
in.
the people that make Nerds candy. I wait all Sunday for my Slurpee, and Nerds invented a flavor Slurpee. How do you ruin a Slurpee? Done with the rant. Just had to get it off my chest. Well, you guys know how much I love Slurpees. Like, I'm addicted to them. Nerds.
It's a lot of sugar.
I have a
man.
Starfinder here. The Starfinder's from
Ooh,
like
Starfinder.
19 whatever years, from the 70s,
Can you move
right?
it back over?
So yeah, all the stars, right? They're all in the same spot still. That's why they can make this. It's still the same. This is from the 70s.
Mhm.
It's exactly
And
the
there's
same.
some kind of calendar that twists too. That
Why would it be the same? Speaking of
Yeah.
twisting, why would it be the same? These would be like either gone or in different spots, or at least a little bit changed, a tiny bit changed, a little bit.
Well, how
What's
fast
that
would we
say?
move
Oh,
in
there's
total?
no parallax. Is that what you say,
Slurpee at it.
Ray? Is that no
Yeah.
parallax? That's what you see.
No parallax. Yeah. That means that the stars are in the same spot night after night, week after week, day after day. And the way that we see those star trails, like they show us the images of all the stars making a perfect circle. But if there was a
Which
parallax,
is why they keep enlarging the
wouldn't
number,
see
by
it.
the way. As technology gets higher, they have to keep increasing the distance because they're saying it's so incredibly far away that humans haven't been on Earth long enough to see the change.
And therein lies
The
bugger
pyramids
of the
line
deception.
up.
Convenient. Yay, convenience.
But the
They'll be
pyramids are
dead.
how old? Yeah, it doesn't work, man. I'm sorry. I think
So
God
all you
would
gotta
have
do is
these talk
brainwash.
shows so we can
Put-
talk to
put-
people that
There's
can-
gotta brainwash
Put my
next
picture up on the screen that I got back there.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite flat Earth proofs, and that's the salt flats.
Bolivian salt flats. Yep.
Boom. And
I love
they,
the parallels to Jesus too. By the way,
these are
Your
all
son,
real.
your
These are all
personal
real
son.
pictures, but on
Yeah,
a
you
rainy
can't get a
day,
perfect reflection on anything if it's curved. You can't.
if it's a ball, it wouldn't be for miles and miles and miles like that. Perfectly mirror image. These are real
Yeah, and
photos.
it's such basic observation that anyone can do. And if they ask themselves the real hard question, and here's what really gets difficult for a lot of people, and I think it was hard for me too. When you start to address the cosmology question, you have to address the spiritual question. And that's a hard one because while I wasn't atheist, I certainly wasn't really considering, I wasn't really thinking about it for most of my life. But what happens was when you take this curvature away from the deception and you see that it is very clearly in aggregate a flat motionless plane, whether it's enclosed or whether it's endless, I don't fucking know. I can't go to outside of Antarctica, the shore, the Antarctic Basin.
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes very clear, and that's why it's really difficult. And people get cogdissed a lot on this. Is they're like, now I have to deal with the fact that this might be a design system, and that my whole life is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
a tough one for people to swallow, man. It is.
So that's
a tough
the connection, yeah.
But
it was hard for me. I can remember in
Exactly.
2015 being like, "Please don't be a flat earther. Come on, man. You already."
I had friends that were like,
awkward
"Oh
as
my
shit."
God, you're a flat earther now." I was like, "No, I'm Alex. I'm the
Me
same
too.
person I've
You
always
watch,
been."
Actually, I see one.
So this is what we started doing, Lowry. We started doing videos and looking at how bricks were actually made, right? Because like we started doing research into the actual bricks, right? And we started looking at we started looking at like, all right, if there was a small town that was just starting out in the early 1800s with like a small population, right? Well, where were the bricks made? In what factory? What manufacturer? And then how many bricks did that manufacturer make that year? And then how many years did it take to build, they say, allegedly to build the city, right?
Wait, and then, how close was it to the what's the distance from there to the city?
And the population of the city at the time. And you look at how many buildings they actually made with such a small population and how big these buildings were. Some of them were like asylums that housed 250 people for their whole entire.
Yeah,
they didn't even have that many people in the population. Why did they build?
I don't think there was that many.
How did they
people at all.
transport the bricks again?
Cart and buggy.
Yeah, with the horse and buggies.
Oh.
Horse and buggy. Sorry.
Nice.
So I started looking into it, and bricks can be made on site. And they used to make. They started out making mud bricks, and then they started making these really strong bricks. The old world bricks would last thousands of years. Now the bricks that they make today degrade in about 100 years, right? So if you look up pictures of brick degradation, check this out. Brick degradation, right? Images. So bricks degrade within like 100 years, right? So look at this one, right? If you look at them, right, like some of them, like especially like this one down here, look, it looks melted, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks that way.
Look,
That looks like wallpaper.
this is what the meltologists show. Like, not all of them, but a lot of the times they'll show you brick degradation, right? And it's melted as fuck. Bricks are just made out of clay. I just showed you that they're made out of mud. Like they only last for 100 years, and then they start to chip apart and fall apart, and they may look melted, but they also say that like the pyramid, like this was one electrostatic event, right? That all happened at the same time, instantaneous across the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, fried everything and cooked everything, right? But so like the pyramids were part of the grid that got fried, and they're the same age as like a building like this, but they just look older because they got cooked more. And then some
wasn't
stuff
it covered
survived.
in something reflective too, or is that fake history? The Giza pyramids being covered in something shiny, and they talk about the water system that they would have had to do to get the material there.
But yeah, brick degradation.
Roman concrete had volcanic ash in it, and lime, and seawater, and way different compounds than they use today.
So, in layman's terms, like for those of you that will listen to this later on, it's just like a junkyard basically being recreated onto itself, right? Like, in other words, like it's just a junkyard. We live in a junkyard. It used to be this, and now it's this, and it's starting over, and we're in some sort of phase where it's just, the very basic beginnings of a junkyard. In other words, it's like, geez, look at that thing. That thing survived the last whatever happened. And
it looks beautiful. This landscape, actually, it's devastated.
Put me back up.
It's devastated. It's devastated. That's my impression of the American Southwest, and I will stand by this. I finally made my lifelong trip to go down there. It looks like something awful happened, especially in the West. You don't see it as much in the American Midwest and out to the East. I think it's because there's a lot of soil heading out to the east. You have the Appalachian Mountains. But the American Southwest, guys, if you can do anything at all for yourself, go out there and look at. It looks like a bomb went off, or
Death Valley looks like a metropolis.
You see the picture that's on the screen?
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what that is, Lowry?
Here in the South.
Sorry, what was that?
Do you know what that is on the screen?
It looks like a laser being pointed at a brick.
That looks like
It's an energy brick, bro.
Oh, I got
they had a
his memory.
certain they had a certain type
got
of
this.
yeah. Good job, Singe. You're very astute. So they had a certain type of cement mixture that was like silicone and certain things. I don't know what was in it, but it would make
Your Boston
bricks.
accent's out of control. I thought you called
It would be so technically, if you
I'm like,
did
what?
build buildings out of these energy bricks, you could get them to transmit electricity, free energy, hold charges and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
so
well, if you make the whole building a battery, that would be efficient.
So yeah, it was a real thing. Look, they sell them right here. Look, the future of energy storing bricks. Boom. Energy storing bricks. See that? Imagine walls storing sunshine and releasing it at night. Buildings powering themselves and grids resilient against disruptions. This is the promise of future energy storing bricks.
And I think there was a very, very it's understated, but the the elimination of the ether probably wrecked free energy for all of us.
Well, the World's Fair had buildings that were self-illuminated, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but when you understand how the ether works, you exchange energy
somewhat
in variation up into the atmosphere. You can get a cycle of movement, which would be electricity, and you can get free energy just based on the height from the ground and copper. And once you take ether out of the equation, then you've basically you've cornered the market energy, which is what the Rockefellers did. And
that's the World's Fair.
They put a meter on
one of them.
That's probably what they did on those World's Fairs was free. That energy that lit that was free. You put copper up high enough
before
in the sky,
houses were.
You can get a current high enough in the sky with copper.
That's the Columbia Expedition.
Yeah, and you just direct it directly down. It's that old fucking spook story of like Benjamin Franklin with his kite with a lightning bolt. That's all bullshit. I mean, it's just like it's not bullshit, but it's kind of bullshit. You just get copper up enough, and you have a potential of a current. As you go higher, and then you just exchange it. You exchange it, and then it creates a current. Because there is an electrostatic current between, where we walk around on and up into the sky. That's what lightning is. That's where we have static issues, when you get on top of a building or whatever. It's just energy that's there that can be used to power everything. And, the Rockefellers didn't want that. They didn't want that.
The thing about the World's Fairs, it was right at so the World's Fairs were crazy because you know what they were? They were basically before they had the news and everything else, right? And the newspaper even really, it was probably not even that big, right? They wanted to psyop everybody still. So they had these World's Fairs and people would come from all over the place, travel for months by ship and everything else to get to these things. And they had all these, some of them were in America and they had all these buildings there that they said were made out of stucco that they just put up that aren't real buildings. They try to say these weren't real buildings. And it was right around the time they just had invented electricity. But this was like way before it's time for them to have buildings lighting up like this. And so they basically had people come from all over the world to these things. And they would be like, this is what's going to happen in the future, in the next 10 years, the next 20 years. This is how you are to behave in society within the next 30 years. This is
so they borrowed essentially what was already there, projected it into the future, and owned it for themselves, and then gave themselves power. That's why you have every single government building, post office, museum, library, they're all in old world buildings. They just usurped all of these buildings,
and
took
you know,
over
a
the
lot
power,
of them,
and projected it forward.
A lot of them have time capsules in them. Like there's one in Boston that has a on the roof. It has like a grasshopper for the weather vane. Grasshopper weather vane. It's called.
Right.
And there's a time capsule in the thing's belly, right? And that's how they pass technology over time. Like they put something in there and they're like, bring this back out in 150 years and redesign it and make it for the. And I feel like all the technology has been here and they've had it and they roll it out every once in a while. You know,
it's always been
It's
here.
like you said, it's so simple. Like how Bernays made everybody eat bacon for breakfast. It made women smoke
And
cigarettes.
women smoke cigarettes
Right.
to
It's
prove
the
their
same.
independence.
It's the same thing they did in 2020. They just know how to work the mind so easily. It's the same technique for all these psyops almost.
and then they said,
Isn't it his nephew that runs Netflix, or the CEO of Netflix is like directly kin to Edward Bernays?
So after these World's Fairs are done, though,
Google
right?
that in chat.
They tore all these buildings down, right? Like they had to go, right? Well, they were just made out of stucco. Like all these, like they was like, you know, like in America, there was like buildings that belong in Greece and friggin' Rome and shit. Like, what are they doing here in that time?
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's very weird. And like we know they didn't build these things out of stucco. I mean, you can see it so clearly. You know, like
6 months.
Well, this is what I think they were doing it for. They were doing it because if you want to rip down the buildings and no one's going to ask any questions, build some structures next to them. Pretend that you built them all. What they did was they put scaffolding up. They'll set up scaffolding and take pictures. And take pictures of the scaffolding. Like, we did it. We built it. See, here's the picture of us.
Oh, there's always a ladder in this shot, too. There's always like a ladder.
So then they like, all right, well, now we can rip down this little one that we actually did build, like over here, this little display that they probably built like other stuff around, like, and then they just went in and used that for an excuse to rip the whole place down and destroy it.
It's very subtle how the PSYOP works. I mean, it works across the board. Every single thing that we see coming out of the Black Mirror every day, we can see it now, especially like looking back into history. The more nuanced and subtle you can make things to seem non-important to the person who only lives in the moment, you know. And again, Marcus Aurelius, all we have is the moment, right? Some of us in this community happen to have pattern recognition skills, I guess. And this is me, a shout out to all you guys, because not everybody has that. We looked into this stuff, some weird shit, right? I mean, the weirdest thing to me, Ray, was like, I looked at these old photographs, and then someone else will say, oh, the photograph was fake. Okay, so I'm going to read history the best I can. I'm going to look back at it and say, okay, well, there's enough sample here. I can look at this. The weirdest thing to me, and I'll never get over this, was a marble building with a dirt road leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's weird.
It is weird.
Because I know how heavy marble is. I know what that structure weighs. And I want to know why you didn't pave the road up to that marble structure before you built the marble structure.
Yeah.
That's how my logic works. And I cannot find a fucking answer to it.
If you can build a marble structure, you should be able to build a decent road too. Like,
right.
You don't even think about what you're building until you get there. That's how fucking ridiculous it is. I'm like, dude, you can't go over a swamp and build that fucking thing in Washington, D.C. unless you got a fucking road to get there to begin with. It pisses me off. It's like, what are you thinking? Right?
What's really ridiculous, too, is like all these buildings that, like, if you read the history, it's like the history of the building, right? It's like, it was built in a year or 2 years, and then we had it up for 3 years and we had to tear it down. It's like, why would you? Well, like, you know what I mean? Why, none of them make any sense. Then they had to rip them
evolves into like, usually like, if you
have you seen that?
There's a couple of people, my lunch break is like there's always a fire. Like,
Yeah,
marble buildings burn down in fires. Like, it's really weird. It's just fucking weird. It's like the AI.
Have you seen him make this make sense? That site, he's kind of like my lunch break.
I think so.
He asks locals like what they think about it and points out stuff in a similar style to me making fun of globe earthers. He kind of goes, make this make sense, you know? And
help me understand.
And these tourists and locals are like, okay, good points. Like, look up, make this make sense. You'll like it.
I've seen it.
You have? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
is he a flat earther?
Sorry.
I said, is he a flat earther to make this make sense?
I don't know. I have to look up for that.
That's a good closer outer on this. It's like, I've been, thinking about like the layers of understanding, and I don't pretend to understand like our spiritual journey after that. I'm working on it, my own personal spiritual journey, as I'm sure the rest of you guys are, and like that is kind of a private thing that you guys all go on through on your own, and just like I do. But I think going back to FE is like, I really feel like FE is tied to Old World. And I think that knowing when we are and where we are is extremely important. I put it very high on the priority list. After that, go ahead.
And also the buildings. The buildings are older than us. Some of them are like 500 years, 1,000 years of history. So they couldn't cover up all the history of all the buildings. So if you look into the history of the buildings, you could pull truth out of that.
Yes,
and that's a skill. So
yes, you can.
So look into questioning history just like you research flat Earth. Do both. And why not?
And to studio drummers out there, there shouldn't be a studio drummer in existence that's not a flat earther. Like your whole job is a pattern.
Yes. And
sorry, I know that doesn't make sense to non-drummers, but another drummer is going to hear that and go, okay, I will look at this again. Because once we realize we're in 7/8, not 4/4, we go, oh, don't ever do that again. That fill doesn't work. Like once you figure it out, you don't do it again. Except for Waves and Tides, which is funny that I requested that tonight. Remember, I could never find the ending. And I'm just like,
we should make a band and get Rico drumming again for a while. We should get him going.
Dude, he knows I'm a drummer. Like I'm there for you if it makes sense.
Nice.
For free too.
Yeah.
Oh, private chat. Oh shit, sorry, dude. Man, I wish the private chat button would flash.
It's all good.
In Lowry, you should always promote your own music. I heard you saying earlier you don't like to promote your music. Promote your music. I have a music, True Kings. I've been producing it. It's a playlist on my channel. Check it out.
I know. I did a track.
I said the same thing to him. I was like, stop apologizing. I remember when I called you.
Do you remember when I did that track with you?
Yeah, Lowry's on Flat Earth is Delight. The song
that was super fun. That was.
I know. We'll do another one.
I don't think I've heard that.
It's
but
on
no,
my channel.
I'm very
Boston Red Mudfoot
a fan of Lowry's music, but I'm like, dude, you don't have to
I'm a
apologize
huge fan of Lowry's
because
music.
the world knows that everyone, I would say 90% of our audience already.
I just feel like everybody has enough of their own shit that they're not worried about promoting your music or my music, or they have enough problems in their lives and things going on with their families and Christmas time and everything. It's like, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Your music's not going to promote itself unless I feel like it's better to spend time and perfect something, right? Like there's certain recordings that stand the test of time, like Pink Floyd, like the Beatles, Yellow Submarine, right? Tommy the Who,
dude, Whiskey's that for me.
There's certain albums that were just so good, they're like, it's like a rock opera now. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like
since you have Faith No More link,
quality over quantity.
That whole record,
that's
my
what I'll
Desert Island record. Faith No More's Angel Dust.
Yeah,
perfect record.
I'm gonna listen to it now.
I'm
gonna listen to it. You said it. Yeah,
my favorite record of all time.
I like that kind of music that Rico played. I used to listen to all that stuff. All the bands he mentions that he was like touring with and jamming with, I know them. I know some of the.
Don't name drop on here.
No, I won't.
Yeah, what I would say is my music is really it's not really flat Earth music, but it bleeds into it. I study characters. I study stories. I write love songs, even though they sound like punk songs. It's but I've given my material over to our community moving forward because it was naturally a part of it. I was writing flat Earth songs before I was even a flat Earther, if that's a word. I hate the fucking term flat Earther. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But
I jam on guitar a bit,
because everybody is, right? But
yep,
I just want to say, Singe, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Singe,
for having me.
Thank you for coming on, and I think we're going to have you guys on again in a couple weeks. I think.
Yes.
The 24th.
Yes.
I have it down right. I promise.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I always forget to tell you. You remind me of the singer of Self. Have I ever told you who he is? Like Self is on Tool's label, Zoo. Him and his brother got super rich
like
from
that.
doing the Expedia.com commercials. You know that Expedia.com? That's him and
What's
his brother
that?
singing.
What's that two song? Swim fan? Is that one of them?
Brainwashed. That was.
Let it swim. Learn to swim. Learn to
Stopped
swim.
because the singer started doing all the Shrek soundtracks and stuff like that. Like he's a big time dude that no one knows. He toured with Beck too. He was on Saturday Night Live when Beck was there.
Beck's good.
That's almost like a gig where you
the
don't.
microphone.
That's almost like a gig where you don't have to sell your soul. You know, it's like in between.
SNL
gig.
for some reason they were live, but also had a puppet show of like mock-ups of all the members. It was really creative. But that's my friend Matt Mahaffey.
Sue.
There's a photo of me on Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sue's in the house.
A whole lot.
All right, thank you, Singe.
Ryan,
thank you,
in the
We'll
house.
see you guys next Sunday. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Tuski's in the house.
I'm Boston Ray, and that's my slice of the mud.
Janice Sky.
There you go.
In the house.
Love you, DJ. Love you, Andrew. Love you, Nico. Hey, Mom.
Nightbot is in the house.
And not nerds. Slurpees.